Well, this show might be a little rough. I just realized I gotta drink some black coffee for this show. But I do it for you. That's right, the listener. I do it for you. We're putting together Dave's finishing up something right now. He hasn't given me the thumbs up. Dave, can we go live now? Okay, we can go live? Cool. Y'all don't hear him, but he talks in my headphones. No, that's cool. I gotta drink black coffee. It's gonna be a little rough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the one and only world famous Rich Wilson show, brought to you live from a bunker underneath something. Not really. It's not underneath anything. But here we go, folks. It is now time, and let's go. Let's get the show rolling, shall we? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the world famous Rich Wilson show.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the world famous Rich Wilson show. I'm Rich Wilson, and you're not. We were going to change this. We're going to put the microphone so it's facing outward, or like up here or something. I don't remember. But we were going to do something, but we didn't do it. So call us lazy, something like that. But how you guys doing tonight? I hope everything's going great. By the way, thank you. Dean Lynn is now following us over on Twitch to address what happened last night. I have actually sent a message to YouTube. I don't expect an answer back. But for some reason, at 1 hour and 7 minutes, somewhere right around there, YouTube cut the show. There was no notification. I went back, checked my recording, checked everything, and checked my stream output. And there's legitimately no reason why this happened. I sent a message to YouTube asking about that. I haven't gotten any response back from them, nor do I expect it. So I've been telling everybody, look, if you can, go to Twitch. Twitch last night showed the entire show. I will tell you, when I addressed that individual last night to let them know how I felt about the Supreme Court rulings, they absolutely refused. I even told them. I even told them that where to fast forward it to show. Gave them the link, said right here is where I address you directly. They absolutely refused. Then they got stupid about it. It was crazy. Hey, Super Dave's over there watching. See, that's another thing where I know I got an issue is YouTube is not notifying me of my stats during the show now. So I don't even know you're there until you chat. So if you're watching the show right now, please chime in on the chat. Let me know you're there, because it's not even letting me know that now. I think YouTube is killing me on that one as well. I don't know. I guess I said something somebody didn't like, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, let's get to the show tonight, shall we? We're not going to talk about the Supreme Court. Well, I mean, it's going to come up in some of the things we're talking about, but we're not going to go over anything like that. I will say, breaking news, Ghislaine Maxwell got sentenced to 20 years for her involvement with the, what the hell is his name, who didn't hang himself, the Epstein situation, you know. What does Jeffrey Epstein and a car freshener have in common? They don't hang themselves. So anyway, Ghislaine, whatever her name is, got 20 years in federal prison for her crimes. They're trying to get her transferred to Camp Cupcake, but so far she's been told no. Still claims that somebody's trying to kill her. I'm not surprised. Inmates that were staying in the prison where she was at said that they've been offered money to kill her. Probably from the Clinton campaign. I don't know. Like I said, it's just crazy. But anyway, let's get into what our news stories are tonight. Top of the story tonight. Facebook and Instagram are removing posts that have been offering abortion pills. Facebook and Instagram have begun promptly removing posts that offer abortion pills to women who may not be able to access them following the Supreme Court decision for the procedure. Such social media posts ostensibly aim to help women living in states where pre-existing laws banning abortion suddenly snapped into effect on Friday. That's when the High Court overruled Roe v. Wade. We've talked about that 37,000 times. Memes and status updates explaining how women could legally obtain these pills in the mail exploded across social platforms. Some even offered to mail the prescriptions to women living in states that now ban the procedure. The governor of Mississippi was asked today, how are they going to enforce it when there's these pills that people are offering to get in the mail? And they got no answer because there's no way for them. And unless they're going to monitor your mail, like literally go through the mail as it comes into the state and check it, every package, there's no way of knowing. There just isn't. So I don't know how they're going to prevent it. I would recommend not, if you can help it. I get the plan B meds you can get over the counter still, but some of these pills that you could take need to be prescribed from a doctor for a reason. Taking them on your own, first of all, with everything that's going on with fentanyl, are you really sure you're getting the misoprostol? Are you really sure that's what you're getting? Because people online have been ordering Xanax and getting and dying, from the fentanyl overdoses. So really, we're taking that chance. Almost immediately, Facebook and Instagram began removing some of these posts, just as millions across the U.S. were searching for clarity around abortion access. General mentions of abortion pills, as well as posts mentioning specific versions, such as, I can't even pronounce some of these, mifepristone and misoprostol, suddenly spiked Friday morning across Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and TV broadcasts, according to the analyst by the media intelligence firm Signal Labs. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you, look, once again, I support your right to choose what you want to do. I may not agree with your decision, and that is 100% and totally irrelevant and doesn't matter. But I support your right to choose. I think you should have that ability to do so. In fact, I've said here on this show, and I've said on my Facebook post, that we may want to look at trying to get started the 34th Amendment, which protects all medical procedures, both mandatory and elective, and which that would then cover abortions. It would also cover medically assisted suicide. It would also cover transgender procedures and boob surgeries, everything else. We're not going to make it where it's mandatory. The government's got to pay for any of that. You still got to pay for all this shit on your own, but no state can pass a law that prohibits you from being able to do it. Okay? None. It'll say that it'll put in there states can make restrictions, can list their restrictions after a certain amount of time or anything like that. I mean, it's not even going to be in there. It's just going to be protected. And people are like, well, then that means they could get an abortion. It's not your call. It's not you. It's not your call. Like I said, whether I agree with it or not, it's irrelevant. Just like I was one of the people going, you shouldn't have to get the shot if you don't want it. That's your call. It's your body. I've had this issue with people being able to choose what they want and what they don't want to do to themselves, and what regulation says you have to versus what don't. I really don't think we should have any laws on the books that say what you can and cannot do with your body. It should not be illegal to do anything with yourself. If you want to cut your own limb off, by all means. You're probably going to die, but by all means. Why? It's your life. You choose what you want to do with it. You choose how you want to live it. Okay? You know, and then people are like, well, I don't understand how you have this standpoint and the other. Look, because it wasn't protected by the Constitution in the first goddamn place. And I'm tired of fucking telling people that. I'm sorry about the language. I'm tired of telling people that. You read any book you want on the Constitution. It was never protected in the first damn place. But now people are like, oh, yeah. Folks, be careful. Ordering doctor-prescribed medication online from not a doctor is a bad idea. How do you think these people are getting killed by fentanyl overdoses? Because they're ordering. Why is that happening? Because they're ordering what they think is Xanax or any other kind of like chill out pill, and they end up getting something that's labeled like a Xanax, but it's actually fentanyl, and then they overdose from it. And do you think this is going to be any different? You know damn well that the Chinese are going to be jumping all over this, going, "Oh man, there's another avenue to dump fentanyl down people." And it's a sad reality, and that's what you're going to see out of this. And then people are going to say, "Oh, well, the only reason why we're having the overdoses on fentanyl like this is because, well, people can't." No, do not order prescription drugs online. That's not coming from a doctor. That's not smart. Okay, it's just not smart. All right, so let's talk. No, I want to talk about the other subject first, Dave, and then we'll get into that one. So bring the other one up. Thank you. Let's talk about that one. All right, so remember the problem we have with inflation, folks? Remember that it's because we gave out all this damn money and we had to pay it back somehow? And evidently, the state of California didn't learn that lesson. California plans to send millions of inflation relief payments up to $1,050. Here's what we know about whether states will follow. First of all, the state of California is in debt. And I guess they didn't learn the lesson because when the federal government sent everybody stimulus checks during the pandemic, we ended up devaluing our currency because we put more money out there than there was goods and services available, and now we have shortages and inflation. Not because a guy invaded another country. It's because we printed a crap load of money, sent it out, and people went hog wild buying all kinds of shit. Okay? That's why we got inflation, folks. It has nothing to do with Putin and Ukraine. Rathalos over there saying, watch what you click on the internet any damn way. Yeah, well, you're absolutely right. So record high inflation, gas prices have many Americans hoping for financial relief. And in California, that's exactly what approximately 2.3 or 20, is that 23 million residents? Yeah, no, that's 23. I thought it was 2.3. 23 million residents stand to get thanks to the state's new budget deal, which is slated to give qualifying taxpayers new direct payments. Democratic California Governor Gavin Newsom. Cali being in debt is crazy as has absurdly high GDP. Yep. William Squire over there saying Cali being in debt is crazy as an absurdly high GDP, but it's still in debt. They spend more money than they take in. Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom and Democrat legislative leaders agreed to a $17 billion relief package that includes $9.5 billion in inflation relief funds. Those estimated 23 million California taxpayers will receive between $200 and $1,050 by early next year. Not this year, next year. Millions of Californians will be receiving that as part of a new middle-class tax rebate. That's more money in your pocket to help fill your tank and put food on the table. And do you think that's what they're going to spend it on? Some people are going to genuinely use it to buy food and gas. But I know there's a bunch of people that's going to get $1,000 in the mail. It's going to turn around and go, oh, I'm getting a new TV. How can I say that? Look at the pandemic. Record high inflation and gas prices have many Americans hoping for financial relief. And California, that's exactly approximately 20. Oh, wait a minute. I read all this shit. Oops. My bad. The more money in your pocket. Nope. Read that too. There we go. Now that I feel like Joe Biden reading a teleprompter. I got to say, give Dave the heads up to scroll for me. Okay. So here we go. Who may qualify for the inflation relief checks? Those with up to $75,000 in income or $150,000 if married and filing jointly will receive up to $350 per tax filer, plus $350 if they have one or more dependents. Thus, joint filers with at least one dependent could receive the highest possible sum of $1,050. California filers with incomes above the first tier but less than $125,000 income if single or $250,000 if married and filing jointly may receive $250 per filer, plus another $250 if they have at least one dependent. Why in the hell is somebody who's single making $125,000 need any kind of a tax rebate or gas check? Why? I have lived in some of the most expensive places in the world, living off $50,000, and I could still figure out how to put gas in the car. I could still put food on the table. Jeez. McDonald's dollar value menu does work when you're single and you're broke. It's not healthy, but you could do it. So I'm trying to figure that out. Why does a couple making $250,000 or a single person making $125,000 need God? This is what the hell is the problem with this shit. You don't need that money. And if you're living in a place where $125,000 a year isn't sustaining shit, move. I guarantee you the money you save by moving out, you can spend that on gas and still have money left over. People don't know how to put their money to good use. Jeez. With those with incomes in the second tier, but below another set threshold, individuals that make less than $250,000 in income singly or $500,000 filing jointly may receive $200 per filer plus another $200 if they get any dependents. Is this per month? Did I miss something here? Is this per month? Why? Okay. If you single, even if you live in San Francisco at $250,000 income, you can afford shit. Why do you need money? That makes no sense. $250,000, you get $250 per filer plus another $250 if you have a dependent. So if you were like a single dad, you get $500, but you make it $250,000. What the hell? Jeez. Those with the incomes above the third would not be eligible for rebates. Oh, shit. It seems that everybody wants their state lawmakers right now. They want from their state lawmakers right now is to help reconciling and addressing the fact that many families are really struggling with inflation and other pressures while state budgets and corporate profits are doing very well, said Dylan Grumman O'Neill, senior state policy analyst, the Institute of Taxation and Economic Policy. California's proposal is a pretty good example of reconciling reconciling shit. And it's going to cause more inflation. You're giving people money with no repercussions or limits. What do we know if other states are going to follow? Other states such as Maine, New Jersey, New Mexico have also made efforts to provide direct relief payments to residents. Moreover, many states are in talks to implement gas tax holidays, and some have already temporarily suspended those levies. Gas taxes don't do shit. Already had a show on it. Sending direct checks is a better way of acknowledging that people are struggling in different ways. You know, because they need a new TV. Because evidently $250,000 a year, it's not enough to buy a new television. Let's see. Rathlo's commented over here. Let me pull it up. Yeah, that's not good. That's bad. Also, California is a stupid state. Well, I mean, there's no point. We're going to be giving these. We're just going to give away people money, again, with no limitations, and expect, well, they're going to spend it on the gas and they're going to spend it on the guy making $250,000 a year probably owns a Tesla. Okay? So he's not putting gas in the car. This is $250,000 a year is going to get $250 a month for relief. What damn relief does he need? What do they need at $250,000? There is people living all over this country, even some of the biggest cities, that don't even get close to touching that money, and they can make ends meet. The hell do you need $250 for if you're making $250,000 a year solo? God, I wish when I was single, I was pulling in $250,000. I definitely have my motorcycle. Fuck, I'd probably have a kayak. No, I'd have a boat. Don't get me wrong. I'd have a boat. But it'd be paid for, so I ain't got payments. Jeez, I would have gotten my knee fixed a long time ago. That's just nuts. That's straight up stupidity right there, folks. We're going to be giving people that are living above the poverty level money. Why? I can't survive on $250,000 being a single person. Go see a financial advisor. You need some help. Period. You need help. There's no legitimate reason for this. There's no legitimate reason that they're doing this. I can understand. Here's what you do. That's how you fix this. I would love to have $250,000 extra. Yeah, and pay off my teeth. Yep. Still got to pay for them. Would love to have $250,000 per month. Thank you. Oh, well, I'm making it. Like I said, there's no legitimate sense in this deal. This is how you do it where you don't cause inflation. If you make under a certain amount, let's say you make under $50,000 a year, state of California sends you a card. It allows you to get up to a certain amount of gas. It allows you to get up to a certain amount of food. That's all you can do with it. You can get gas. You can get food. Nothing else. And then the state of California has to reimburse the companies you went to where you used the card. I made that suggestion that we did that during the pandemic instead of sending people $2,000 here, $2,000 there, $2,000 here. Send people a voucher card that allows you to go and pay for fuel or pay for food, and utility companies or any company that has utility, including cable and internet, stuff like that, for during that pandemic, instead of billing the person, they send the financial request to the federal government. The federal government reimburses them back, but not put money into the pockets of people because it will cause inflation. I made that comment back in the beginning of the pandemic. I said, this is how we need to fix this. This is what we need to do. We do not need to be giving people money. It's a bad idea. It will cause inflation. Oof, what happened? Inflation. And unlike Joe Biden, who lives in fantasy world, I know damn well a little megalomaniac in Russia invading a country just to prove that he has a larger penis than anybody did not cause the inflation. Okay? I know this. I predicted before Biden even went into Ukraine that when these suggestions were happening, they were planning on this. I said, this is a bad idea. If we start giving out money, we're going to have inflation. We're going to kill the economy growth, and we're going to have inflation. Everybody's like, no, it's got to be needed. We all need it so we can buy a new TV and PlayStation and all that. Well, guess what? Inflation. Everybody's wondering, well, how do we pay back what they're giving us? You're paying for it now. All that free money you got during the pandemic, if you got it, now is when you're paying it back. Right now. It's when you're paying it back. I got to pay it back, and I didn't get any. I feel like I should get a tax deduction for that. But, it is what it is. All right, let's move on to our next story, shall we? Can only beat this one with a dead horse with a baseball bat for so long. All right, let's go. Let's talk about this woman. Yeah, Kamala Harris. You know, it's kind of funny. We're talking about Facebook, birth control, and Kamala Harris. Sounds like a bad adult film, doesn't it? Biden was a dumb choice from the beginning. Yep, I even disagree with Donald Trump doing the stimulus checks in the beginning before. I was against it, completely against it. This is not over. Harris warns Supreme Court could target gay marriage and contraception next. Vice President Kamala Harris warned on Monday. I watched the interview. She really didn't. It's not as clear as this article makes it sound. That other establishment rights such as same-sex marriage and access to contraception could come under assault from the Supreme Court next following the High Court's decision Friday to overturn Roe v. Wade. I definitely believe this is not over. She repeated that like 9 times. Harris said in an interview on CNN responding concerning opinion by a conservative associate justice, Clarence Thomas, who wrote the court should reconsider other demonstrably erroneous decisions involving the due process clause. I think he just said the quiet part out loud, Harris said. I think, she doesn't think, but she loves to say that word. It's one of those ones, you know, Ego Montoya, I want to have a video where he goes, you keep using that word, but I don't think it means what you think it means. I think that is why we all must really understand the significance of what just happened. I think this is profound. I think that we should do something about this. I think he is wrong. I'm not kidding. This is what she said. She can memorize the first part of a word of a sentence, every sentence she needs to talk about. And I swear that's her trigger point to go, okay, and this is what I need to say next. Thomas singled out Griswold versus Connecticut in 1965 Supreme Court opinion that invalidated a law that forbade contraception based on a right to privacy. 2015, Obergefell versus Hodges case that legalized same-sex marriage nationally. And 2013, Lawrence v. Texas ruling invalidated state prohibitions on sodomy. 5 crucial sections in the Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Okay, so I told you guys last night, some of y'all that were watching on YouTube missed because YouTube cut my feed, at least off YouTube, but it stayed on Twitch. I can tell you right now, same-sex marriage, based on my understanding of the 14th Amendment, is protected. Should never even been ruled on by the Supreme Court. The 14th Amendment, the Equal Protections Clause, that states that if it's legal for one group of people, you cannot discriminate another group of people or prevent them from being able to engage in that activity. So if in your state, if it's perfectly legal for a man and a woman to get married, then you can't legally, by the 14th Amendment, prevent a man and a man or a woman and a woman to get married. You can't do that. People have gone on to say, well, you know, wait until Clarence Thomas screws around and ends up making it to where he can't be married to his wife because his wife is white. 14th Amendment also protects that. As long as you're going to allow a white male and a white woman to get married, and then you allow a black man and a black woman to get married, you cannot prevent a black man with a white woman or a white man with a black woman or whichever way you want to do the combination. Because it's legal for one group of people. You cannot discriminate against them and prevent it for another group of people. Okay, you can't do that. The 14th Amendment specifically protects that. Okay, so now the 14th Amendment did not protect. The 14th Amendment did not protect the right to an abortion. Ruth Bader Ginsburg even stated that it didn't. She didn't. She even stated she didn't believe that the Supreme Court was a venue. She agreed with the point. She agreed with the point, but not the procedure, or not the way they went about it. A lot of people I saw it today all over Facebook. Everybody putting up Ruth Bader Ginsburg quotes, and it's like, it's not the whole quote. Read the goddamn book, you idiot. Okay. She even believed that the system needed to be legislated and work its way through the court system and become law that actually protects it. In fact, she said that Roe v. Wade didn't actually protect women's rights to abortions. What it did was protect physicians' rights to privacy. Those are her words exactly. I got that from the Illinois school, or the Illinois School of Law, where she gave a speech. And it's also in her book. If you want to go look it up, if you want to fact check me on that, it's all right there. Okay, the contraceptive thing. I'm not 100% certain how states could bar access to contraceptives anymore. I don't think you can any longer. If they, for some reason, if a state comes out and bans contraceptives, I mean, I don't think I'd have a problem looking off in the night sky and seeing a glow on the atmosphere. Personally, it's probably going to be Oklahoma. The same-sex marriage thing, and then the Lawrence versus Texas ruling that invalidated state prohibitions on sodomy. I mean, for Christ's sakes. Okay, so it's still legal in states to beat your wife on a court steps if she refuses to do what you're told to do. Why isn't anybody losing their mind over those laws? Okay. You're allowed to physically beat someone. You're allowed to beat a woman for not following your orders as a man in some states. Where's the protests over that? Oh, it's because nobody looks, because they don't enforce that and they don't allow that anyway. Because why? They have laws against that. Right? So here's the deal. If for some reason the Supreme Court, okay, decides that there's no reason for the Supreme Court should have actually never ruled on pretty much any of this. I will say same-sex marriage is protected by the 14th Amendment. That does give the Supreme Court jurisdiction. The contraceptive thing, if you want to say it is protected by the rights to privacy, it could be either way on that one. I will not be upset if people get upset over that ruling. That could be protected under the right to privacy. It could not be protected. It's one of those ones, it's kind of either or. I kind of say if it's either or, just leave it alone. But if he removes the federal the ruling that same-sex marriage is protected under the 14th Amendment, I told you guys before, I'll go out in the streets with you and protest. Because I disagree. And I looked up 9 different laws, or I looked up 11 different law schools yesterday to see where they were at on this. 9 of them disagreed with me, one of which was Harvard. They said that it's not protected. I disagree wholeheartedly that it's, and I believe it is. Sodomy, I mean, seriously, I can tell you there's probably not a cop in the world that's going to arrest you for engaging in consensual adult activities that involved sodomy. Now, you will see that sodomy actually is illegal in all 50 states if it is perpetrated against a person's will, a.k.a. rape. child molestation, things like that. You will see sodomy on the list of charges. People have said, well, I thought the Supreme Court said that's not illegal. No, it was a method in which the person carried out a felonious act, therefore making that a felonious act. You know, law. It's a thing. Let's see. I'm going through this. There's some couple other little snippets that she said where she went in talking about I am the child of a woman. I am the grandchild of a woman. It's real funny. Just a couple of weeks ago, every time one of these people was asked what is a woman, and it's whatever if you want to go down that road or not. But today they can all tell you what it is. But it was the big thing, a little while ago that you weren't allowed to say what it was or, and all this other stuff. Now everybody can tell you what one is. And then she went on. She literally did. She said woman like 14 times. And like a minute and a half during an interview. And you're just listening to her. The bad part is when you listen to Harris in these interviews and they softball her questions like crazy. And you just like, it's the same exact sentence repeated. She just altered a word here or there to make it sound like it's a little bit different. Like, I'm surprised she's not doing interviews with a teleprompter like Joe Biden does. I'm really not. Wrath of Lowe's, where has our country gone, brother? I don't know. I made a comment today. Here was my comment today that seemed to miss a lot of people, and I'm surprised it didn't. So in the last 48 hours, since the ruling about the praying coach, and by the way, folks, just in case you're wondering, the Supreme Court's decision did not give people in schools the right to suddenly start conducting prayers in the middle of class or leading classes in prayers. That's not what it was. The coach didn't force anybody to be a part of it. If they chose to join him, that was of their own will. That was what they decided was protected under his freedom of speech and his freedom of religious expression. Okay. He wasn't interfering it wasn't interfering with his job duties as a employee of the school district. Because when he did it, game was over. He's off, nothing further. Okay. It wasn't like this was in the middle of shit. It's not like he called a timeout on the field and went out there and did that while everybody was, But it did not remove, it did not just suddenly say, now you can hold church prayer in the middle of class just because you want to. That's not what they said. Okay. And of course, everybody's making the stupid comparisons today. Well, folks, get ready because you're going to have one that's going to whip out a Muslim prayer rug. And so what? And I've been responding to that. So what? If you're not disrupting your class and you're not forcing your students in your class to take part in that, and you go off in the corner because it's a specific time because the Muslims have to sit there, they have certain times they have to do their prayers, okay? And if they decide to do that, so what? Who cares? There was one person sat there going, yep, we're going to get our altar out and do our Wiccan ceremonies right there in class. Really? Why? Please explain to me how you're going to have a lit fire in the middle of class. Please explain that one to me. I said that to one of them. They unfriended me immediately. And I'm like, this is what you get for being ridiculous. Somebody said, well, that means now we can sacrifice a sacrifice a goat in class. No, you can't. That interferes and affects the class. You can't do that. That's not protected under that. Schools already provide, quote, time, place for students to pray. It's a right you can ask for at school. That you can. If you are a religious person in the school, my school even had it. Hell, my school had a Youth Alive program after school. One of our teachers, she was the wife of a pastor, and she did a Youth Alive program, and it was always after school. And you get together and talk about religious things, stuff like that. You know, they had it. I dated a girl that was in there, so I went a couple times. But the thing is, okay, you can ask for it. Somebody, this was the other ridiculous thing I saw. This is another ridiculous thing I saw. Somebody, what did somebody say? Oh yeah, since Ramadan is coming now, all the students in the school got to fast. No, that's again not how it works. And see that's the problem with this. They're claiming that this is, and the argument I got into last night with somebody was, they made a post of a very broad sweeping term that this was happening everywhere. And then I made a comment to where when I played high school football, okay, I played for the Woodbridge Raiders in Bridgeville, Delaware. Okay, that's who I played high school football for. My head coach was Tom Schmatt. Tom Schmatt, at the beginning and end of every single game in the end zone, would hold prayer. Okay? You didn't have to be a part of it. We had 6 kids that weren't a part of it. Okay? They all still made the football team. They all still were starters. He didn't yell at anybody for doing it. Okay? He told people, you can be a part of it if you want. That's your call. And he would do it before and after the game. Win or lose, still before and after the game. Thank God that all of us came out of there alive. One of the reasons why I also thank God that all of us came out of there alive is we only had 16 kids. We lose one more, we were ineligible to play football. Okay? But anyway, he did it all the time. Now, every year we played the same 4 teams, and then we played a set of 4 different teams the following year. Okay, so out of 4 years, that was 20 schools. I watched the other schools pray too, and not every one of them prayed. And nowhere in the newspapers or on WBOC or any of the new, like I said, there was nobody that filed any complaint that they were praying at the schools. No one. And it didn't affect us at all. Hell, our basketball coach, he would do it. There was people who didn't. But everybody still got to play. Everybody still did what they ever because nobody cared. I had a kid in my class that said the Pledge of Allegiance every single morning, but didn't say under God. I asked him one time about it. I said, "Why don't you say that?" He goes, "I don't believe in him." Okay, cool. Didn't care. I thought it was weird. I didn't understand things at that time as much as I do now. I thought it was a little weird. But it's not like I went, that kid don't believe in God. I never did that. Nobody did. Sideburn, this is about funding as the claim of millions of women will die from back alley abortions while states are fighting out abortion laws and bans are still in effect. We were talking about the what's his name versus the school? Pledge of Allegiance? Anyway, but if you're commenting before, I'd already talked about Facebook and Instagram taking down the posts about how you can get the abortion pills, the prescribed abortion pills, online and mailed to your house. Let's see. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. That pledge. We used to say it even in high school. We said it. We had a couple kids didn't even stand up, didn't care. We're just like, whatever. I mean, they were both in a wheelchair, so of course, they're not standing up. No, I'm kidding. No, actually, we had one student who didn't. We had one student didn't. He wasn't from America. His parents were only here because of work visa, and they were going to be going back when their contract was up. So he didn't stand for it. Nobody gave a damn. Nobody cared. They're like, oh, okay. I can't remember what country he's from. Station manager states statistically the likelihood is tiny, but it seems that there is one, then it's everyone, then it's everywhere. It's, histrionics. Yeah, it is. And that's the worst part about it. People are like, oh, well, your individual, experiences do not speak for the whole. Well, I wasn't trying to speak for the whole. But when you make a post that says this is going to happen everywhere, everyone's going to have this problem. And then I say, well, here's an example where it didn't. So that makes your posting irrelevant because that's not everybody. And I could point to people who said that this doesn't happen now. So then I asked, I was like, so then what are the statistics to show that every single place that has a coach that prays has kicked people off their teams because they didn't pray with them? Where's the statistical data on that? Well, that's not what we're saying. Well, no, but you're saying it happens everywhere in America. So there should be some kind of statistical data because they just had a Supreme Court case concerning it. So there has to be some kind of research information based on this. Well, no, and that's not what we're trying to say. And see, and I mean, and then they went on. And it's like, no, if you're going to sit there and paint with a broad brush and then get mad because I was trying to say that it doesn't happen like that, then it's stupid. And then your counter argument is the counter is to speak that way, and I'm not talking about the one that I got in a discussion with specifically last night. There was one earlier that day did the same crap. It was the broad sweeping post that said it's going to be everywhere, and that's not the case. It's like people that post America banned abortions. No, America did not. Certain states did. 2 of those states, there is lawsuits where federal judges have blocked it from happening while the case is tried. In truth, what this really all shows is this country is pumping out propaganda in large numbers, and people are falling for fear porn. They are. And I made a comment last night. I didn't say what it was on here because I was going to get to that, and I got sidetracked. But I made a comment last night, and it seemed to miss everybody's attention on Facebook. And I'm surprised people didn't jump all over it. But in the last 48 hours, I've seen all Christians are bad. Christians are taking all of our rights away. Christians are taking over the country. Christians this, Christians that. Okay. It has a very similar ring to it, doesn't it? Kind of like Nazis said the same thing about the Jews. How'd that work out for the Jews? Not real well. But then I could turn around and say Christians said the same thing about the pagans. How'd that work out for the pagans? Not so well. If you don't study history and you don't remember history, you're doomed to repeat it. At the rate we're going with all of this, the only thing we're going to do is end up in a horrific war where millions of people are going to die for, hollow ideals that have no real meaning, do nothing to advance anything, and we're going to have to start this all over from square one with less people. The country is falling apart now, and the worst part about it is it's people being driven by the government and the media. Okay? Literally. And you can say what you want. I literally probably watch the news almost more than any other human being on earth. Right next to station manager. Okay? You literally watch it. You can literally watch this country slowly tearing itself apart. Abraham Lincoln, a house divided cannot stand. Okay? I'm literally watching this country rip itself apart. I am watching people go, if you don't believe me, then you're the enemy, and I don't want to be your friend no more. Okay, goodbye. But then you see people getting butthurt about it going, I don't know why they don't like me anymore. It's because they're assholes. It's real simple. If somebody tells you, if you don't agree with me, then we can't be friends and I hope you die. You know what I've said to a couple people that have stated that? Fuck you. Seriously. I told people, well, you can. I love the ones that say, if you don't agree with anything I got to say, then just unfriend me now. No, bitch, why do I got to do the work? You're the one making the demands. You do it. You don't like what I got to put in my feed? You don't want to see it? Get rid of me. Hell, 460 other people figured it out. But we're slowly tearing ourselves apart in this country. And it's people like that stupid woman on the screen right there who can't seem to have a conversation without somebody without repeating everything she said 30 goddamn times. I hate every time they do an interview with her. Because every time they do, you guaranteed 2 hours later, it's the same conversation. Well, I really think that okay, you're the vice president of the United States of America. Stop with the I really think. You're not running for office anymore. Come up with solutions. That's what you're there for. Come up with solutions. I got to stop. I got to stop. I'm going to get really rude, and I don't want to do that. It's intolerance, which comes from fear and breeds hate. Yeah, what is it? Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to the dark side. Master Yoda. I don't know what the date was. Let's just say 2790. Dagobah. But, like I said, listening to Kamala Harris is just like your brain rots listening to her. Because she just repeats the same thing over again. I think this and I think that. Lady, come up with solutions. You're the vice president of the United States. And it's like Joe Biden. Well, we really ought to consider this. Here's an idea. Do something. Hey, Dean made it over on the Twitch. By the way, folks, I'm almost at an hour. This is right around the time YouTube starts getting stupid. So if for some reason the show suddenly stops on YouTube, if you look at the link to the show on my Facebook page or the show page or on the Discord page, which we haven't been running the Discord link the entire time. Click the link for Twitch. If you don't have Twitch, download it. Follow. There you go. But yeah, so like I said, they need to stop telling us what they think is going on and tell us how they're going to fix what's going on. Here's an idea. Why don't we figure out how to bring the country back together? Why keep tearing it apart? The country is destroying itself. Like I said, the Nazis said the same thing about the Jews that people are saying about the Christians now. Didn't work out for the Jews. The Christians said the same thing about the pagans back during the Dark Ages and the medieval period. Didn't work out for them either. Well, all we're doing is repeating a cycle, because evidently a lot of these people who claim they know shit didn't read a single damn thing or learn history. The same ones running around going, the conservatives are Nazis, da 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 da. And then when you look at their actions, actually they're the ones that are acting like Nazis. But if you ask them, they're so afraid of, you get sweeping generalities that don't really match reality. We're to the point that irrational fear and one basic rationale is out. God knows where it goes. Goodness knows where it goes. And that's the bad part about it is when you really think about it, the people that are screaming that the other side is the Nazis are the ones that are acting more like Nazis. That's the sad reality of this. And then when you try to tell them, it's like, well, you really sound like Goebbels there with your propaganda speech. Oh no, I'm just saying because of this. Oh, wait a minute. So again, you are backing up my point by then defending the reason why you're acting like them. If you forget your history, you're doomed to repeat it. Yes. Goebbels did the same thing when people like, oh, well, that doesn't seem very good. That's propaganda. And then he'd defend to you why he was doing it, not in the name of harming anyone, but because of German pride. Well, these people are doing the same thing. When you call them on it going, well, why are you calling them Nazis? You're the one acting like it. Facebook is being dumb again. They restricted me from commenting for 24 hours. What? Good Lord. I know why. Okay, folks, when you're on the social media pages, don't say things that they could deem any form of a threat. I know, Rathalos, you're still watching. Feel free to just message me with your comments at this point. You know, it's because of the line you made about the fire, the setting a fire thing is what they got you on. But anyway, I know what you were saying, and Facebook took it completely out of context. But that's why. So be careful what you say, because social media algorithms look for specific words in a specific order. They don't look at the rest of the statement, just a part of it. And they think that's you being threatening to something. And it was over my comment about, yeah, that's exactly. I'm not going to repeat it again. That's exactly what it was. But every single major one of those cycles was a mass formation, and we're in one now. All the markers are already there. And it is, because you have people lockstep, doing exactly what they're told by the press, doing exactly what they're told by the government. They're being angry exactly the way they're being told to be angry. They're reacting exactly the way they're told to react. People that I've had over the years legitimate, intelligent conversations with that disagree with me completely politically have literally threatened my life. Okay? These are people that years ago, when Barack Obama was in office, and we would have conversations, and I would say I didn't like something that Barack Obama did. Or if George Bush did something that I liked and they didn't, we would have legitimate, intelligent conversations, fact-based conversations, where we would go point for point based on the fact information that we had. And by the end of it, either one of us changed our minds or we would agree to disagree. And we were fine. And then we'd have conversations, you know, about other things like, hey, how's your kids? The kids are good. How's your kids? I mean, because it's one of those conversations. I hate you. I hate you. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're stupid. You're stupid. You should fly off a bridge. Hey, how's your kids? The kids are good. How's yours? Oh, they're good. Hey, is your wife getting that surgery? Yeah. Hey, I'm praying for her. All right, brother. You have a good night. Hey, you too. And that's it. That's how conversations used to always be. You could disagree completely on something. You could have a little bit of back and forth that might even get heated. But then at the end of the day, you both realized either one of you changed your mind, or two, you both agreed to disagree. You shook hands. You went in separate directions. Now, you disagree with somebody. You're the enemy, and they want to, rapid disassemble. Cause, what, station manager has a way to say it. I keep forgetting what exactly to say. What is it? Rapid disassemble or something like that. You know, that's what they want to do. I'm trying to say words that the algorithms won't connect together because there are certain words they don't look for, because Facebook's already gotten Rathalos, which means the social media algorithm patrol is out there. The Matrix has you. Yeah, and you said, guess what else? The psychology knows that mass formation, the point we are at, is pretty much irreversible and will result in conflict. I hope not. I'm praying it doesn't. I'm still holding out hope that the conflict doesn't happen. I am. I'm still holding out hope. But it's really starting to look that way. Was that before absolutist black and white thinking? Yes, where people could think outside the box and come up with original ideas on how to get to a point where people go, well, I disagree with your point, But if we put it this way and then we go to this way, I could see where you're at on this. And then the other person like, yeah, when you think about it, if I really look at it this way and that way, I could kind of see where you're coming at it. Because people would think outside the box. They don't think outside the box anymore. It's my way or the highway now. And that's sad. The other day I made a joke. I sat there and laughed at a friend of mine who posted the REM video, "It's the End of the World as We Know It." I went back and found his post and took my laugh react off of it, and then I put the crying reaction on it because we're on that road. It's a sad day when you think about it. Literally, you have people out in the open acting like Nazis, trying to justify it for the good. If they went back and just watched the documentary World War II in color. Or better yet, what was it, Hitler's Circle of Evil on Netflix? And read about and just watch about every single one of those individuals. You'll find out these people are copying the same thing that led up to the moment where they finally started attacking them, the Jews. We're leading up to that. We're leading up to the day that the church decided the pagans were the reason why they couldn't spread the Christianity through the world, and that they were the problem, and they were what was destroying. They were going to be the destruction of all the countries, and so they went on. They went out and decided to start slaughtering them wholesale. The only difference is this time around, the smaller group of people are armed, which means way more people will experience explosive disassembly. In the process, a lot of people will lose their lives because people aren't willing to look at history and see that we're repeating it. We're already on the road. There's still the opportunity to get off on an off-ramp, take a different road. Still a chance. There's always a chance. But just like Zion Bryn said tonight, station manager, every single one of these instances in history led to this. Led to conflict and led to death. In this day and age, if this is what this leads to, it's going to make our our pandemics look like a sore throat in comparison. You've got one side who says that if you agree with the decisions, I literally saw people, I even saw a congressman say, if you agree with the decisions the Supreme Court said, you need to be locked up in a concentration camp. Like I said, Nazis said the same thing about the Jews. How'd that work out for them? Christians said the same thing about the pagans. How'd that work out for them? Once again, here we go on another cycle of repeating. Me and my significant other was talking again today about buying a large property where we can go somewhere defensible. So that way when the shit hits the fan, we could just protect our small piece of the property, our small piece of dirt, and each other. Because that's where we're going, folks. Look at social media. Look at the social media conversations. Look at the media. Look at the government. What are they saying? They're repeating the same things that have been said in history. The United States is being torn apart piece by piece. And like station manager said, we are already in mass formation. We're already seeing the same signs that has happened before. The lead up to World War II, the lead up to the Spanish Inquisition, the lead up to ethnic cleansing, all of it. We're already leading in that direction. The only difference is in the other cases, it was against a group of people that weren't well armed. The difference is now you have people that are. So this time around, we may look at a much higher toll, a death toll. I like to stay positive. But when you watch the news and you monitor and you study social media platforms and you study the government like I do, you pray every day that you're wrong. But hey, as long as the country hasn't completely fallen apart, yours truly will be right here, trying to make the news make sense. By the way, folks, that's it. I'm cutting this show from here. It seems like for some reason, once I pass an hour, I get flirting with disaster with the places where I stream my show from. Folks, make sure if you want to see the show, click on follow, like, or subscribe, and turn the notifications on. Folks, we have a Discord chat. You see the link at the bottom of the screen. Show notifications are going there. Okay? If you look at that, go, I can't click on that. I can't do it. Screenshot the screen when that Discord logo is out there, and then use Google Lens it, and then it will take you to the site. Folks, like I said, again, I'm not kidding when I tell you don't engage in the rhetoric of the division that is going on. Don't engage. When does government no longer serve the people? It is the duty of the people to rise up and form anew. But be careful, because now if you try to say that you are an insurrectionist and you should be incarcerated, even though you're trying to do your due diligence by constitutional authority. Like I said, we're tearing the division in this country is getting wider than the Grand Canyon, and it's only going in one direction. We got to bring it to a stop. We do. We got to bring it to a stop, because if we don't take that last exit ramp, there's only one way to go. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the show tonight. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Believe it or not, I enjoy bringing this show to you. I enjoy doing this show a lot. Now, there's going to be some changes to the show schedule, and I don't exactly know what they are, and here's the reason why. Don't go away thinking the show's over. Tomorrow, I start orientation because I got to pay for these. I got to pay for some other things. So I had to go back to work, which is going to alter the time that the show comes on. It's going to be coming on later. So be on the lookout for when it is. When you see my posts about the show, if you get on the Discord channel, you'll be much more up to date, because I'm planning on utilizing the crap out of Discord. Because why? All my other social media platforms are limiting exposure. Some of you have told me you're not getting the notifications when I'm on, and some of you are saying you're not getting the notifications when I'm posting to my feed when I post show links, but every time I post other random crap, you see it. But when I post up information about the show, you're not seeing it. So I'm going to start using Discord a lot more. So please, Discord channel. If you like the show, also remember to help support the show, because yes, I had to go back to work. I have a merch store, thericwilsonshow.com. We have merch in there. I'm going to be adding to it soon. I've got a couple other things I'm working around and playing with on paper to make into shirts and stuff like that. Go check it out. We even have this cool mug right there. St. Javelin, the protector of Ukraine. It's in a mug. Got it in a t-shirt, stickers, the whole 9 yards. Okay, and this is what I drink out my coffee out of every single show, right there, every single show. So, folks, you guys have yourselves a wonderful night. For everybody here at the world famous Rich Wilson Show, don't do anything I wouldn't do, which doesn't leave you much room for error. Dave, thank you very much again for the show, and we'll see you guys later. Okay, we'll be on tomorrow. Not sure when. Just keep an eye out for the show updates, folks. For everybody here. We are gone. We are out of here. Bye-bye.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.